Hey everyone, so in today's YouTube video, we're gonna talk about, well, actually we're gonna address the men in the audience. So ladies, if you wanna share this with someone you know, a man you know, your brother, whomever, it would definitely be the appropriate video to do so. Men, this one's for you. So in this video, our week's theme is gonna be on whether or not you should hit on women in the workplace. And the answer is obviously no. And yet it happens all the time. And the reason it happens all the time, and I'm very empathetic of this, is that men and women have two fundamentally different problems. Men often want to get laid. Let's be real, it's a fact. That's their number one struggle, right? Women are a little bit more selective. And so men are trying to be worthy of love, worthy of that intimacy. And it's a very different way to look at it, but it's true. A lot of it's ego-based, but a lot of it isn't. And sometimes it comes off as needy and clingy and what have you. The other side of it is that women don't really have a problem getting laid at all. Women don't have that problem, and oftentimes they don't relate to that problem. So they kind of look at it as needy and clingy and overly sexual and what have you. Women often struggle with, finding intimacy, finding someone that they can trust, someone that they can be themselves with on a much more intimate level rather than just friendly or friends with benefits or what have you, right? So yeah, there's this weird battle that's often blamed on the culture. It's we're in a swipe left and right Tinder culture now. That's not true. The truth is, yes, cultural norms have changed, but human behavior does not. And human behavior at its fundamental level is that men want to learn how to get laid because they want intimacy. They're not the selectors necessarily. And women want to find intimacy because they don't struggle finding sex. Intimacy is hard. Intimacy is hard when every man is just trying to, sleep with them. I was going to use a more graphic term, but no. Anyway, so men, I understand why men hit on women in the workplace. And the reason they do it is because sometimes men are just really nervous. Sometimes men are really shy. Sometimes men don't know how to approach women. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, sorry guys, I'm holding my phone and it's an exhausting venture. Look at that. Look at that arm strength. Sometimes men are just afraid of rejection. And so when they feel comfortable enough to talk to one person, one woman who treats them normally, one woman who doesn't go, ugh, every time they look at him. And oftentimes that's just a story that men tell themselves. But the point is, I relate to that story as a man. Before I became a dating coach for men and women, ultimately women, I used to be that guy. I used to struggle with women. I used to struggle socially. I was an introvert. I'd say weird shit because I saw some cool dude say some cool thing once upon a time, and I would try to make my own version of it, and it would make women cringe. I've done that. I know what it feels like. So men, I get the struggle. But women, this is why men often hit on women in the workplace. This is why men don't understand the difference between what's inappropriate and what's not. And I don't say that in a judgmental way. I say that from an empathetic, compassionate way of I've done it before, is because men like to feel validated. And when they find someone, look at that dog, who makes them feel validated, who makes them feel important, who makes them feel worthy of your time and attention, they do what a lot of men do. They fall head over heels very, very quickly, way too early. And don't make men wrong, just understand where that comes from. Men, don't put women in that environment. Don't put women in that situation. There we go, that's the word I'm looking for, situation. Don't put women in that situation. Women are not at work to be hit on. That's not why they go there. If you guys want to be friends, that's one thing, be a friend. Men, stop hitting on women in the workplace. It's not what they're there for. On a separate note, my partner and I, my partner being Jen Sinclair, have created a free Facebook group for women. If this sounds like something that interests you, please feel free to join our Facebook group. It's called the Social Academy for Women. You just search in the Facebook search bar, Social Academy for Women in groups, and that's it. You'll find us. It's called a community of growth-minded women or something. It's a long title, but you'll find it. The reason for it is that we wanted to create a community that allowed women to empower one another, that allowed women to support one another and to support each other's goals and to feel safe with one another. What my partner and I have found is that oftentimes women are highly competitive with each other, and it can become very toxic and very, very damaging. And so we wanted to create a global environment where women didn't have to feel that way, where women could, go at 2 o'clock in the morning when everyone is asleep regardless of time zone, and they could post their problems and say, hey, I need help, and not have to deal with, bias or your friend's bias or what your friends want for you, but what's actually good for you. We have your best interests at heart, as well do all the other members. So it's a group for like-minded women of empowerment, growth mindset, that sort of thing. And if that interests you, it would mean the world to me and Jen Sinclair, if my partner, if you joined the Social Academy for Women. It is completely for free, and we'd love to welcome you to it. So thank you for giving me your attention, and hopefully I'll see you there. Have a good one.